welcome to the Glowing Studio. Hi, I'm Karin. I'm the founder of Glowing Face Yoga Method, and I am 30 years old. I come from Slovenia, a super small country in Central Europe, and I'm super happy to talk to you today. Yes, so I actually came across face yoga or face workout in 2014. I was 17 at that time. And why I came across face yoga, because at 17 you don't have any wrinkles, you are living your best life, you don't care about well-being and health, you are actually interested in partying. I had a severe burnout. And this is what actually led me to start discovering about alternative ways on how to heal myself and improve my well-being and health. I actually had no energy, my cortisol levels were super high, I had PCOS, and also if you would see my pictures back then, my face was super puffy, swollen, tense. I didn't know I am storing so much tension in my face and in my facial muscles. And so with face exercises, I was just like thinking about it, exercising your facial muscles, like everybody knows that you have to work out with the muscles on your body, right? Do a workout for your body is healthy, beneficial for everything. But what about the face? And also facial muscles are super close to the internal glands, to the brain. And I was just like, if you start working out here, you improve blood flow, energy flow, lymph flow in the most important areas and centers. And this is how I decided to give it a try. Once I started with face exercises, my life has completely changed. And I'm doing them since then. So I actually had a big support from my mom, because she saw me with no energy, just like wandering around, just like, not being myself. And she was the one who actually suggested to go and do a face yoga workshop here in Slovenia. She came with me. So we actually did the workshop and learned the exercises together. And we also started practicing together. I started seeing amazing changes in my well-being and energy levels, like straight away. And this is what kept me going. Well, with her, because she was 50 at that time, we were already able to start noticing also changes in, let's say, reduced double chin, higher cheekbones. It was actually very, very funny. And also looking at the pictures, back then and now, I cannot imagine that I was actually looking like that. You get used to yourself, puffy face, like super swollen face. And through the years of me practicing, I actually was able to come to where I am now, even though it's more than 10 years now. I actually look better and younger, at least I would say so. So yeah, my biggest supporter in my whole journey was my mom. When I started doing face exercises, I had no intention to teach or create a business out of it. Also in 2014, this was super new. And when I said that I'm working out my facial muscles, and when I showed it, everybody was laughing at me. It was just like, what are you doing? This is so funny. But I felt, the need to keep discovering, learning more. And so when I saw results on myself and on my mom, I really became eager to learn more, explore more. And I bought a lot of books, also books for dental medicine, facial anatomy, and I started learning everything myself because I wanted to understand more. I also then started to search for courses. Anything connected with the face was my goal. and also traditional Chinese medicine, face reading, the list goes on. I also then, because I saw big changes on myself, decided to do another certificate training here in Slovenia with the same person I actually went to do workshops, and I became certified in face yoga. But again, still, I didn't have like, you know, the big picture of becoming I don't know what. I just felt the need to share. You know, the more I learned and studied, I just felt the need to share this knowledge on, because back then nobody knew about face exercises. Also now 70% of people still doesn't know about face yoga, right? And this is why I was just like, you know, something inside of me was just like pushing me over the edge, because I first started to study law, then I saw that this is not for me. I also switched and started to study economy. I finished economy. You know, a lot of people was just like, you know, go and find the job in your field. Why would you do anything else? And I felt the need to do something with face yoga. So as I said, everybody was, not everybody, but most of people was just like laughing. And what are you know, a face yoga teacher, what is that? While my mom was the one always supporting, also my dad, supporting me and saying, you know, you can do anything, you can do whatever you want, you know. Both of my parents are also lawyers. So it was not that they forced me to go to study law, you know, it was my desire to, you know, have the knowledge because it's important. But I was super happy that nobody cared, you know, in the sense of you have to become a lawyer or something. It was just like, go and do what you love, because only in that way you can be successful. And so how I started, I first took a lot of time to learn and discover. So in 2014, I started doing face exercises myself. In 2016, I think, I started teaching. And I started teaching in the way that I created weekend workshops or courses, and I was traveling around Slovenia, you know, meeting with different yoga or Pilates studios, and I would be, you know, hosting workshops there, having, let's say, 10 people, and I would teach them exercises. That was actually amazing, because I was able to track their progress along the way. I also took pictures, you know, before they started, after a while, after 5 weeks, after a month, 2 months. And when I saw amazing transformations like those, I was just mind blown. And this was actually giving me hope and even bigger wish to spread my knowledge on. And because I saw, I'm going to say it like that in Slovenia, people were not that open for those kind of things back then. You know, we're only 2 million people. I was thinking about how to bring this thing, you know, online worldwide. And sure, you know, online program in English. My English was awful, by the way, in 2018. I think it's still, you know, I still can, you know, I could be practicing a bit more. But that didn't stop me. If you ask me what was my drive behind it, have no idea. You know, it was something inside of me. Because also, if I look back now and, you know, just like see myself, how I just jumped and started doing, you know, like started moving, I was just like, what? You know, how did I do that, you know? Because I had no money, I had no resources, I actually connected with my friend. He still is a designer, a web designer. And I had a teacher, my mathematics teacher, who was also filming content and so. And I actually came with them, and we created our now best-selling beginners program from scratch. So my mathematics teacher was filming the exercises and also took pictures of me, like professional ones. And my friend edited everything, created the design, the website, and everything. So if I can say so now, it was a big investment, but I, made it work with the help of other people. And this is also how I started. So I didn't have money to just like, here it is, the best video maker, the best photographer, I really started from scratch. And so I started, I created my website, I created my 5-week-long program, and I wanted it to be super simple, clean, to have only 15 exercises that I saw work best for most people. And when I was able to work with people individually, I really saw what we can do better, how to improve the exercise, how to create a workout. And so I really did, like super simple, program. 15 exercises, 10 workout videos. Each video is 10 minutes long, just because I know that we are super busy all the time and nobody has time to do their face workout 1 hour per day, right? So it was 10 minutes per day, and I was actually super confident that this program is going to be successful. I didn't know how, why, I just knew that this is going to be it. And so we built our website, and we put the program online. It was February 2018. I did my marketing through social media. So Instagram made me, and it's hard to believe that this was possible, because now I think Instagram, in my opinion, is super overwhelming. But back then, when everybody was filming and taking pictures of their food, I was filming myself talking about face yoga. So I was creating videos and content, firstly in Slovenian language, because it was, easier for me. And then I pushed myself to the limit, actually, because I really wanted to start talking in English. Most probably everybody laughed at me, because, that girl from China is talking in English, and, just like, what does she think, and this is what I did. But because people really wanted to learn more about this topic, because I was actually online one of the first ones, because people really wanted to hear more, I started gaining followers, clients. Also back then Instagram was super organic, so hashtags and everything, and I gained a lot of clients, especially from the US. I then also created like a bigger picture. From the beginners program, I went and started offering individual online consultations, where I would first tell people to do the beginners program. Why? Because this is a fundamental for then everything else. And then, to individualize the exercises, to learn everything about their face, I then offered consultations for my clients. And this is also how I met super amazing people. Also people who then opened the door for me to start teaching in Dubai, all over Italy, in the US. So this is how everything actually started. In 2019, I decided to start sharing my method on. So I created certificate training, so to become a face yoga teacher. It was all online, 30-hour-long training, and this is also how I started gaining, my glowing face teachers, who now also teach face yoga, our method on, all over the world. Back then, I was also working with one big company in cosmetics from Italy, and this was actually the time when I discovered that I can do more with that. So I'm not only teaching others how to do face exercises on themselves, but also how to maybe, do face exercises on another person. So this is, Italians, they like to be treated well, they're a bit lazy, if I can say so, they like to get pampered more than working out themselves. So this is how I just had like a aha moment, and I was just like, okay, people were coming in, they were saying, I love the exercises, I love the results, but could you do face exercises for me, on me, And this is how my idea of my face yoga facial treatments came alive. So I then went and did a lot of courses on massages, intraoral massages, deep tissue massages, the list goes on. And I actually created like a signature face yoga facial treatment that includes work with the lymph, face exercises, super deep tissue lifting massages, intraoral massages, and now I'm also offering that here in our glowing studio in Slovenia, but also worldwide whenever I'm invited to go and teach. I now also work with doctors, dentists, because we have amazing results with people who deal with TMJ and bruxism. So this is teeth clenching and grinding, and when you are doing the exercises, you are really able to nicely release tension from those muscles. And this doesn't only benefit the way you look, but also it helps reduce migraines, headaches. So you can put face yoga and also our signature face yoga facial treatment in many different ways. It can be completely, just like beauty thing, reducing wrinkles, sagging skin. But it can also be a super, strong holistic method in the sense of, improving your well-being and also health. So now what I do is I'm trying to balance everything because I'm a big doer. I have a lot of ideas in my mind. I have too many ideas and too little time and people to do it all. But I actually in this time created also my own skincare line, my own beauty tools such as gua sha and cupping, and I bought and opened my very first studio in Ljubljana, Glowing Studio, where we now do have like a holistic approach, and where I now teach face yoga, gua sha, cupping. I do face yoga facial treatments, not only me but also people who work with me. I have a doctor, acupuncturist, who also offers acupuncture, and we then also have like Pilates and yoga. So we have like this holistic approach on well-being, the aging process, health, because my plan is to show people that aging is and can be beautiful, not in the sense of us being wrinkle-free when we are 50 years old, but looking beautiful and youthful is not in the way how your face looks in the sense of how many wrinkles do you have, but in the way you feel and in the way you radiate the flow that is happening within. And you can achieve the flow of blood, energy and lymph through face exercises. So that's that. Okay, so honestly, I think I have the most challenges right now because when you start, you are alone actually. I started with my business partner who then left because we saw that I had a lot more to do than him, so we are still in good terms and everything, but this is how you grow and also grow your business. So I'm now the only owner of my glowing face brand and also business. But when you are starting, you are alone and you can do it all. But when you start growing, and especially if you are like me who has like a million ideas, it can be problematic to execute all those ideas. I'm very good at beginning things and projects and having amazing ideas, but then you can only do a certain amount yourself. So the problem is that when you start your business, it's not that your income is growing as fast as your developing brand in the sense, right? So I'm now challenging like, you know, how to have all my plans and projects under control, in the sense of, you know, me being able to do them 100%. And I'm also challenging now to get more people in who could help me on my way, on my path. But again, you know, also when you are finding people, people say, you know, you are just going to find someone who is going to do it for you. It's not that simple. You know, you have to find the right person. That person needs time to learn everything, right? So it's a struggle. And also a lot of people think, you know, especially if you have, let's say, online business, oh, that girl is just like filming TikTok videos and Instagram videos, you know, and that's all she does, and she teaches face yoga here and there. It's way more than that, you know, taking care of the accounting, managing, you know, teaching. For example, I'm now teaching online, but then I also have my in-studio clients, you know, doing the marketing, being the boss, making sure you are not spending too much, you know. So being an owner, a business owner, small business owner, is super, super challenging. So it's always important to work on yourself a lot through that process, during that process. Also, you know, on your mental health, well-being, and just like taking your time to stop, to breathe, and to then, you know, move forward. The worst thing is that when you are a business owner, you can work 24/7, especially if you have an online business. So the biggest struggle is to know when to stop. Now, because I don't have kids yet, it can also happen that I work from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., you know. But it's also, you know, when you love what you do, it's hard to know when you're so tired to, you know, too tired to keep going. So this is, I think, the main thing that is happening right now. So this topic is super real, okay? Also, a lot of people think that, okay, if you do face yoga, Pilates, you know, if you're a yoga teacher, you have it all together and you are super zen and calm and everything. Well, if you are at the same time a business owner, this is not the case. So definitely when you are, you know, a business owner, you have so many things on your shoulders, also a lot of responsibilities, a lot of opportunities, a lot of people who comes by with great ideas, and you would like to, you know, do it all, but you just can't. And this a lot of times brings anxiety, at least in my case. Anxiety just to, you know, try to do it all and try to be the best in every single aspect. Also, a big problem is competition. You know, I think I'm managing it well, but you know, when you are developing something new and when you are putting so much effort and so much time in a certain thing, and then you see that the next day another person is doing the same thing, just like copying, this can be a struggle as well. Not because you would be jealous, but because you are just like, you know how much time did it take to, you know, get somewhere and to create, not only get the idea, but also execute everything. So yes, I definitely, you know, I started with face yoga because I had a burnout, but in the meantime, I think I had at least 3 small burnouts along the way. Definitely face exercises helped me tremendously to just like manage everything, also because, you know, the exercises help you calm down, they help you boost the energy levels, they help you center. So I really have an amazing tool which helps me, you know, helps me keep going. Yeah, you know, you forget about yourself when you have so many things to do and so much in your schedule. Especially if you're a perfectionist, you want to do everything yourself, you want to be the best at it, and you know, there's a point where you just can't do it anymore. And it's important to take a break, to go inwards, also from, you know, stay away from social media, because this is, in my opinion, the worst thing now that is happening. It gives me anxiety, honestly, and I'm the one who uses it for business, so it's a big pain in the ass. Yeah, you know, just like what helps me cope with everything is also to just stop and look from a, you know, a bigger picture, like to look myself and what I do from, you know, the sky, if I can say so, looking down on myself, seeing how much I've created, where I'm at, and where do I want to go? Because often you just like start, you know, circling around, not knowing, you know, what you want. What did you do already? Because if you strive for more, you always just see how, you know, many things there are still to succeed, to achieve, to you know. So meditation, face yoga, taking time to rest in the sense of traveling, moving to a different location. And this is how I cope with, and a lot of podcasts and books that help me just like center myself in all the situations. It's so funny you mentioned that, because I wouldn't say I lost friends. I actually lost my business partners and colleagues more. Just because I never hired somebody in the sense of that person being my worker, you know, but I always worked with people in collaboration, like a marketing expert, this expert, this expert. And a lot of times, which is actually sad, people only like you until and support you until they feel you are still slightly under. Once they feel that you are going past that line, they become, you know, just like not jealous, but they start to feel competition and just like, okay, why is she doing so well and I don't? It's not that they hate you or they are jealous of you and they don't, you know, want you to succeed. It's more of a battle inside of them, you know, just like trying to be as good or better, you know. And this is what I think, in my opinion, this is also what happened, breaks friendships and collaborations. So it has happened a lot, but you know, every single situation taught me so much, even though I still get burned often. But yeah, regarding friendships though, what can I say? If you are a workaholic and if you have your own business, the fact is that you don't have a lot of friends. Not because you don't want to or they are jealous, but because you don't have time. So I have a small group of friends. We've been friends for, let's say, more than 10 years. I cherish my small circle, and I'm super grateful for it. And that's it. So I'm super happy that you asked me about this question, because I was almost 100% sure I'm going to stay and be alone. My friends were joking about it, saying that I should go and be a nun, because I was so just like, you know, I didn't find the one. I'm a person who really doesn't like to spend time for no reason. I think time is money, and also time is honestly the most precious thing we have. And if a person is just like cute, you know, let's say in the sense of guys, and I did like, it was not enough for me to just like go and spend my time with that person, because I was rather focusing on my business. I found my husband to be randomly. Actually, he found me through Instagram, and I actually accepted to go with him on a meeting, not on a date, because he's a dentist, specialized in TMJ and bruxism, implantologist, and he was super interested in my work and what I did in regards to manual therapy, face exercises, because he believes, and we have a proof now that this works, he believes that you can treat those issues with a good manual therapy. So without using Botox, just like anything else, you can release tension from the face by doing proper face exercises and massages. And actually, this is how we met. We went on a meeting and then further on discovered that we are super, connected and super like-minded. And this is how I actually started dating him. We are now dating for 4 years. We are about to get married in June. So I'm super happy about that. But I really think that dating nowadays is a big issue. I consider myself lucky because if he wouldn't be here, I don't know, I most probably would be still alone. Why? Because, if you are a woman and if you want to be, successful in business, you have to work for it. You have to dedicate your time and your concentration and focus to business. And when doing that, you might seem super independent, also cold, you go into a masculine energy. And men, boys, they don't like that. They are afraid of that, okay? And a lot of women nowadays, because we are taught to be independent, equal, we are equal to men, and the list goes on. I think this is complete nonsense and bullshit, because if this is the case, women go into the masculine energy trying to do everything themselves, trying to be strong and men, even though it seems that they are okay with that, a lot of times, two masculine energies, they crash. And two things can happen. Or that woman, stays alone and just does her own thing. Or a man starts to become more like a woman in the sense of going from the masculine energy towards the feminine energy. I also was, let's say, dating a few men that I liked, but I can honestly tell they were afraid of me because of my strong goals, my vision, and just like my willingness to go for it, because I didn't need a man. And often, men want to feel that they are the providers and they can, they are and women, need them. So that's one thing. And this is why I think dating nowadays is problematic. And secondly, social media and the internet and everybody being, so reachable. Everybody exposing themselves on the internet, their attributes, and really, also when you are in a relationship, I'm not talking from my experience because thankfully this didn't happen to me, but when you get into a fight with your loved one, if you're already in a relationship, a lot of people escape to the online world, right? And there, everybody is super accessible. A like, a comment, a DM, and people are not used to solve the problem anymore through talking, through conversation, expressing the emotions. They rather just like run away from the reality and search for somebody else because they think they can easily find somebody else. And a lot of times they also think that they won't have those kind of problems. But we all know that, if you don't resolve a problem, it is always going to repeat itself, just with a different person. So nowadays, it is super easy to just escape to the other, let's say, online world, right? And it is very sad because we are the ones who need to work on ourselves in order to pass through certain beliefs and through certain, obstacles that are inside of us, to sort this out, to take time, because this requires time. It's easier to go online and scroll over Instagram and TikTok for days, than to take everything out, sit down and be with yourself and feel what is really happening inside of you and what your triggers are. Because only in that way you are able to communicate what you actually feel and believe with others. And in this case, your partner. So it is super important to really take the time to be with yourself, to work on yourself, to learn how to express and communicate your desires, your mindset, your goals with another person. And only this is going to help you, create a very beautiful partnership, and a long one, right? If not, every person who is going to come, the same thing is going to happen. The same problem is going to repeat itself until you resolve it yourself. Same problem, another person. The same goes for partnerships. The same goes in a business, on your business path. It's actually the same. You have to work on yourself to, center yourself, stand still, know what you want, what you believe in, and just learn how to communicate things. Also, it is interesting, but all the emotions that we are holding inside and we are not able to process and let go of, they get stuck in our facial muscles, on our face. And in a long term, those stuck emotions start creating blockages. In traditional Chinese medicine, they would say create blockages in a certain organ, in the energy flow. And those stuck emotions can then engrave a wrinkle or, create a discoloration, sagging, and the list goes on. Because at the end of the day, our face is representing ourselves. Ourselves the most, and our emotions, and we are communicating through that part. So again, working on your emotions also through face exercises can be super beneficial for that. I think that the biggest challenge that I'm dealing with is now. Why? Because as a business owner, being 30 years old, almost 31, and a person who has, a partnership which is thriving, actually, I'm super happy about it. It is super hard to decide, let's say, when to start your own family, and how the new family member, let's say, is going to change your working habits, and how to combine your work with your family. Because I now know that I sometimes have to work for the whole day from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. But when you have another human being beside you, this is not possible. And especially if you are a perfectionist, it is a problematic thing, because you want to be 100% at everything you do. So being a very good parent and being a very good business owner, right? So I'm now working on myself a lot to try to figure out, how to balance both things, and when would be the right time to maybe start a family. Because there's always a new project that can happen, business-wise. Oh, just this filming more. Oh, just this trip to Dubai. Do you know what I mean? Oh, just this and that. And all of a sudden, you are 35, and even though you have a super supporting partner and everything, there something might be missing. I'm going to say that. I would love to have kids. Some people don't want to have that, and it's completely okay. I'm talking from my experience, so this is now my major goal, to try to figure it all out. Take time for yourself, to work on yourself, to do your self-care, and to be with yourself as much as possible. yourself, your emotions, your thoughts, because when you just like go out there too much, there's a big tendency to lose yourself amongst all of the trends, situations, people. It is super important to stay true to yourself. That advice was from my mom, and she always tells that there is always a solution to every problem. No matter how hard the problem is, how big the problem is, there is always a way out. And this has helped me a lot. Also, when I was building my own studio, I didn't talk about that today, but I had big struggles doing that as a woman, alone, coping with all the workers and everybody. And I was just like, first time doing that. This studio aged me a few years, let's say for 5 years. No, I'm just kidding. But there were a few hard moments. And this, statement has helped me a lot. Honestly, I am happy for everything I did and for all the experiences I received along the way, because at the end of the day, they make you who you are, and you are able to make better decisions just because you had a previous experience that, even though it was like super bad or hard, I wouldn't change anything. Again, self-trust, self-confidence, and just following your inner spark. I believe that what made me, let's say, became successful, I still think I have a long way to go and a lot of things to do and achieve, but is, that spark that was driving me from the inside. And I didn't listen to anybody. I just knew I had to do something. And what I really think is important is to not overthink, because as soon as you start overthinking it, you are done. Okay? When I decided to buy this place, for example, I didn't have a clue how am I going to be able to, even not afford. Yes, I had like my financial plan of how everything is going to go, but I didn't think what can go wrong. I only envisioned what can go right and how this process is going to happen. Even though there were many things that happened and were a complete disaster, I had a positive mindset, in the sense of, we are going to make this work, this is going to be successful, this is going to be as it should be at the end. So staying true to yourself, following your gut, don't overthink, and just go for it. And you are never going to be 100% ready, by the way. Never, ever. So this is just like, for a perfectionist, a hard hit. So you just have to go for it. So I have to say that I'm not a doctor. That's the first thing. So this is my own experience and my own thinking due to studying this topic quite a lot. And this is my own opinion. But I'm against preventative Botox. Why? Because I encourage young people to, again, stay true to themselves. This also means that, it is important to work with what you got and who you are. And preventative Botox is actually a nonsense, because you paralyze your muscle before the muscle even gets tense, let's say, or creates any kind of wrinkle. So you are treating something that it's not there. Also, the latest studies are showing that in a long term, your body can become resistant to a neurotoxin, right? And so if you start doing Botox when you are 20, a big probability is that when you hit 30, Botox might not work for you anymore. Also, studies are showing that micromimics is the one that makes you look youthful and playful. And with preventative Botox, because you paralyze the muscle, you actually froze your face and your micromimics, micro-expressions. And with that, you can just think about it. When the micromimic is frozen, you don't know how old a certain person actually is. And so nowadays, a lot of young women being 20 years old, they look like they are 30 because they are not able to move their face, in a youthful way. And the same goes for, people who are 35. When they get Botox, the face gets frozen, the emotions are not being able to, be expressed. And everybody starts to look the same. And it's super hard to just, distinguish the age or a true spirit of a person, in my opinion. In my opinion, micromimics and just like you being expressive makes you you.